Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
Who's that kid? Nick. He looks like Beaker from Muppets.
The one on FS1, Nick Wright. Yep.
Yeah. I got something.
That's
for
amazing.
I
did not even. I love that.
If I get 5 women and they're all in the same room with me, we're going at it at 110%.
Welcome in, everybody. Special Thursday edition of the Lazy Booking Podcast on A2D Radio. We're very happy to welcome in a very special guest for a conversation today. I'm Chrome, joined by, as always, my companion over here, Mr. Eric Archer. Arch, what's up, buddy?
What's happening? Let's get rolling. Let's do this.
Man. We're very excited to welcome a very special guest, NWA Superstar, WWE alum, Mr. Aron Stevens, Damien Sandow. How are you today, Aron?
Woo! I'm excellent. How are you?
Oh, man, we're doing great. We're excited to have you on. I'm loving what NWA is doing, by the way. I've seen you a couple of times.
Thank you.
Guys, we're over here at the 2300 Arena where we're at in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
We're very excited to talk to you today about some of the highlights of your career. But first and foremost, show a little bit of love to our sponsor, Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy. Physical locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can find them on the web at that site on your screen, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. So any aches, pains, anything brand new or anything long-lasting, contact the doctor and his award-winning team, and they will set you guys on a program to get you back to feeling at your very, very best. Aron, excited to have a conversation with you today. And as we discussed before we go on, A2D is Agree to Disagree Radio. And we always like to have a current topic before we dive into some of your career highlights to get your opinion. And today, brought to us by Specialized Physical Therapy, WWE announced that they are doing what's called the Last Time Is Now tournament to determine John Cena's final opponent. And what's cool about this is it's going to be Raw and SmackDown and NXT Superstars, but they said it's going to be open to outsiders as well. So I don't know if that means TNA or they consider AAA an outside group or others. But just wanted to get your opinion on kind of the way that they're deciding to select his final opponent. And also, how do you feel about, obviously John Cena, he had a very memorable program with him in terms of the Money in the Bank and during your time in WWE. How do you feel about John Cena's legacy as he exits the business at this time?
I mean, his legacy speaks for himself, right? I mean, if there is a face of the PG era or even the last 20 years, it's John. No, I think, again, knowing when to say enough is enough, and that moment's different for everybody. And, look, for everything John has given to the business, I think this is a good send-off.
Yeah, I think it's unique, right? Because John came in and he did his little open challenge thing with Kurt Angle. So it's kind of, it's not exactly a direction I think anybody saw it going, but what a really cool idea. Can you recall anything ever like this where there's not a championship on the line or an opportunity for a championship?
No.
It's literally just guys with the opportunity to have a match against one of the last match with the greatest. I never heard of this before.
No, I mean, that's, again, the thing in wrestling, if you can say, hey, it's never been done before, and if you're not breaking any laws, it's a good thing. It's again, John is a very special superstar. And again, his send-off, I think it's very fitting because it's really like, do you even need a title? It's like The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. The Undertaker never needed the WWE title. The Undertaker was, in essence, bigger than the title, and I think John is one of those guys now.
Oh, my God, 100%. I agree. Go ahead, Eric. You want to kick us off here, buddy?
Yeah, so pleasure to have you on the show with us. A lot of the talk with this Cena tournament is people that he has feuded with in the past, maybe some fantasy matchups, but I think the real question is, are we going to see you in this tournament? I think there's still some meat on the bone from that Money in the Bank cash.
Highly unlikely. That's highly unlikely. A lot's happened between, whenever that was, and now, and I think John's had a lot of feuds with other people and things like that. And I don't think that's going to be coming down the pipe. So.
Chrome, you owe me $5. You owe me $5.
Yeah, right. I thought we might get it. But go ahead, Eric.
No, so really a lot of we still talking about Cena, or are we?
No, go ahead. Dive into your first question. His career.
Yeah, so diving into we'll start diving into your career. Starting with the WWE. Your second go around, talking about the vignettes that came out. With the intellectual savior. Kind of just want to pick your brain as to where that came from. Did some research. You kind of alluded to you had some English background and school college background, and wanted to see, get your thoughts on what went into those vignettes. I think vignettes right now are kind of like something that we don't see a whole lot of anymore. Where you see those several weeks of vignettes and promos for new talent, and I think that's kind of a lost art. And I think looking back at where your career when you came back to WWE, I think that really set the tone for what we were going to see with your character. But kind of just want to kind of pick your brain on where that all illuminated started for you.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much stuck me in a pre-tape room and said, you got it was like 30 seconds or 60 or 90 seconds or something like that. And they were just like, okay, go. So, it's funny. And I was with Tenzay was on Raw, Matt Blue A-Train. And his vignettes were really elaborately produced and awesome looking. And it's like, there's, go in the pre-tape room with Lombardi and talk. But again, I'm a fan of whatever the situation is, and this goes back to what you said, where we're not seeing a lot of vignettes. It's becoming a lost art. And then I would argue that the characters, although athletically the business has never seen a crazier time, it has never been more depleted of characters, of true personalities, that if you've never seen a wrestling show, when you see them in the first 10 seconds, you know exactly who they are. You know what I mean? Like, you get the vibe. You see someone or something larger than life. And I understand, like, I don't really keep up with WWE, but like they're going towards a more like realistic approach, and they're trying to be more like a real sport. Well, hey, they have something called UFC, and you cannot take a UFC philosophy and translate it to professional wrestling, in my opinion. Or, I mean, you can, and that's what WWE is doing. But look, globally, they're a juggernaut. Domestically, is their audience really watching? Are the people as invested? No, they've found other ways to create revenue where they don't necessarily need to make the fans their number one priority. Or, and again, with the acquisition, and I'm not in there, so I don't know, you have some people calling the shots that simply don't know how the wrestling industry goes. I mean, that's kind of the only way. I mean, I heard about, and I actually watched, after enough people called me about it, the finish to WrestleMania with Cody, and like, come on. I mean, I know a Wrestling Mind didn't book that. That's it's one of those things, right? So look, it is what it is, and decisions are being made now, probably in a completely different paradigm than when I was there. So I'm not trying to judge anything like that, but what I will say, like, as an observer, characters, I mean, that is the premise. And that in NWA, that's what we're trying to do, where we're not trying to compete with anybody, we're not trying to knock anybody, we're just trying to say, hey, we think this is missing from wrestling, and this is a really cool part. And if you watch the NWA, which we're on Roku now, by the way, Tuesday nights at 8, and then on Saturdays as well. That's the Roku Sports Channel, plug there. But if you watch NWA now, you're really getting a sense of like wrestling as it's meant to be, in my opinion, right? I mean, it's what differentiates what we do from everything else. Muhammad Ali in boxing, that truly was the closest thing to kind of transcend that up to that point. And then one could argue Mike Tyson, who was, boxing's equivalent to Brock Lesnar when he was coming up. But these are just personalities that we gravitate to, as a species, right? Like it kind of appeals to the human condition to where enough people are like, oh, wow, that resonates with me on some level, whether it's good or bad. But indifference is the enemy. And that's my opinion in a lot of promotions today. You have a lot of talent like, oh, I'm going to be heel, but I still want to look cool. And no, that's not, I'm a cool heel. Well, that's an oxymoronic statement. Anyone that says that, if you're going to be, a good guy or girl, be a good guy or girl. And if you're going to be bad, do the same. And just my opinion, it is what it is. But I do know that as far as NWA goes, our template, and we have had peaks and valleys in the Lightning One era under Billy, and certainly the pandemic played a huge part in that. But the thing is, we hung on, we persevered, and we are getting to a point where we're really creating stars. And there's a lot of homegrown talent now. And I think especially 2026, you're really going to see some of these names out there more and more, and because they put the work in. And they had the courage to say, okay, like I'm going to go and be this person, right? Be this character on TV, even though it's and some people it comes naturally, like the slime balls, believe me. Other people, it's more outside their comfort zone, but they do it, and it's such a it really is magic when you see it,
Yeah.
and you see it on screen, and then it translates with the fans. And I remember again as an example in Philadelphia. When we were there, we were like, okay, like we're going, north of the Mason-Dixon line. Like this is going to be interesting. And of all cities, it's Philly. And hey, it is what it is, right? If Philly doesn't like you, they will let you know.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We were. I was there. I went when you guys had 76 here, celebrated 76, and then most recently you guys had the Crockett Cup. When you guys had 76, we actually had Brian Idle on to promote it, and we talked to EC3 as well. So we're big. We are big NWA supporters here. And what you mentioned is so spot on because it has, it has a traditional yet fresh feel. And I actually wanted to ask you about that because of, you did step away for a little bit and then you came back and you've been such a big part of the NWA and what they're doing. And I just wanted to talk about or ask you about, what is next for the NWA? And also, how is it? What is it like, the dynamic of working with such a brilliant mind and somebody who loves professional wrestling like a Billy Corgan?
So to answer that question, awesome. He is the coolest boss I've ever had because he understands me and he allows me the freedom to operate as necessary to where I'm a manager on screen, but behind the scenes, I couldn't even tell you what I do. It's like I am my hands in a bunch of different places and we just all try to make it work. And that's testament to the NWA to where we are truly, and the word family, it gets used a lot in wrestling when, again, cliches, but wrestling's great for cliches, as we know. And it's not a bad thing, but
absolutely,
NWA is truly family because we have had each other's backs when we had, when there was no other choice. And the trust that we have amongst our core team, and this goes from the talent to a lot of people backstage, from Billy Corgan, Billy Trask, Pat Kenny, and there's so many other people that are in that little group to where, God, we did a show where I got married 2 years ago. There was a snowstorm. There was no boss there because they couldn't get to Knoxville. So we had to do the whole show ourselves. It was crazy, but we did it. And when you see things like that, and then, fighting to get the Roku deal, and then all the talent kind of working to get their personalities on screen in line, their characters. So it really is a positive environment. And what's next for the NWA, we want to keep doing what we're doing and just, again, continue in the direction we're going in. There's always adjustments that we can make, right? But that the same can be said for any company. But with us, it's kind of staying focused, and Billy has a vision. And the thing is, it's if you keep your eye on the prize, as they say, and you do it from one show to the next, right? Like 1 week to the next. What am I doing on TV? Okay, got to hit a grand slam. There's no doubt about it. You have to do that, right? And that's the mentality I'm trying to instill in the talent. Where I'm not trying to say there's a lot of, well, it is, right? Like people are softer now than they were 20 years ago. And it's not a knock on anyone, right? And I think
world.
It is. It's simply a different world. But, you know, when certain talent, when they kind of get in and you see their personalities and, you know, you've kind of been around long enough to read people. Like, all right, perfect example. Carson Drake and the Slime Balls. Like, those are my kids.
Oh, my girlfriend loves the Slime Balls, I'll tell you.
No, and you know, but here's the thing, right? Like, here's the thing about them. To look at the two of them, absolutely not. There is no way under God's green earth that either of them should be at a wrestling show unless they purchase a ticket. But there was an Exodus Pro, the EC3's promotion. This was about 2 years ago. There was a tryout camp. Me, EC3, and Billy were there evaluating talent, and saw about 30 promos. And I just wanted to go home and go to sleep. But those two walk up there, and for about 5 seconds, you just saw it. And like I remember, I perked up, and Billy perked up, and we looked at each other and kind of was like, all right. So I go over to Billy. I'm like, all right, let me talk to them and see if they're idiots or not. Because I'm direct like that, right? If you're an idiot, I don't want to. But so I remember I took him aside, and it was something to the effect of, "Hello, gentlemen. My name's Aron. It's nice to meet both of you. First off, you two look like everything I stand against in this industry. If there was a creator wrestler and 100 was the best, you would both be in the negatives individually and collectively. That being said, you guys have something. You know, what do you want to do with your lives? We want to be wrestlers. I said, well, go join the Olympics. Because if you want to do this for a living, you have to make money at it, correct? Yep. All right. You need to become television stars who wrestle. That's the key. Mm-hmm. So many great wrestlers throughout history. But a television star who wrestles is different. I would argue, you know, the wrestlers, as they say, they were presented as that as TV stars. Right? And then some people needed manager, right? Some people did, like, you could, again, you know, Bret Hart was a wrestler's wrestler. Yeah. But he was a TV star. He had the right music. He had the right character presentation. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about. So, okay. And so then we've just kind of been together ever since. I mean, and Carson, the same thing. Like, you want to make money at this? Yep. Okay. That I can show you, because to make money, you got to be over. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, whatever people say about my career, and everyone has like a different take or a different view. But one of the things I've always been able to do is get over. And that's the only thing that the talent can control. And to this day, I mean, I will put my ability to go into any arena against anyone in the world today and get myself over, no questions asked. Because it's just something I know is in my skill set. You know, if you give me TV time, I'll think of something. Right? And that's just what we have to do. And it wasn't always what I wanted. Sometimes I had to be a little goofier than I thought. But if it was a matter of striking out or getting on base or hitting a home or whatever, you know, I ain't going to strike out. Yeah. You can book me however you want and to keep me off TV, but if I'm on screen, I am not striking out. It is not an option, simply, right? It's not in my vocabulary. And that's what I'm trying to instill into some of the younger kids. And there's other kids I work with too, but you know, those three in particular, when you go out there, failure is not an option. Failure does not mean, oh, if I trip and fall or if something gets messed up out there. No. Failure means making the action not believable, right? So meaning and that's the thing about characters. People, they tend to compartmentalize the industry, right? We're like, oh, he's a promo guy, he's a wrestler. No, to be good, you have to be so good and so proficient in the ring that it is second nature to you. Bottom line, to where you can't think about it, because again, you're going to be in character, and you have to be completely in your character. And when you can marry those two, that's when you know you're a television star, because the people will give you the feedback.
And Eric's going to ask about something that, honestly, you talk about things that, like, there's no reason it should have got over, right? Or like when you talk about the slime balls and the position, you look at them, and it is true. You look at them.
Oh no, they do. And not to interrupt, but like, by the way, they sell more merchandise than anybody in the NWA.
I saw it. It's crazy. Like, I would never have thought that.
Because and it's funny, and like, and not to keep sorry, but just to reiterate this, right? Like, again, they're younger kids. They have their friends in the business, and I've tried to help some of their friends. I've tried to help a lot of their friends. At the end of the day, it's and again, I'm still trying to a degree, but they understand, like, when I tell them something, I'm not doing it to edify my. I don't even like wrestling, right? I mean, but I don't know what's going on in WWE, but I tell them this, right? I go, yeah, I don't like wrestling and I don't watch it, but you probably should take solace in the fact that I'm pretty good at it, because it is still my full-time job.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's just it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, there's a blueprint for you in that you've made things work throughout your career. I mean, WWE, for example, I mean, Rhodes Scholars, I mean, that was, you guys were put together and you made something out of it and you got over. You were able to, the Mizdow, I mean, that goes without saying. That had to be, and that is still to this day one of my favorite highlights. Like, every time I watch it, I crack up. That Usos match.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's just so awesome. Like, the impersonations, like, you really were able to take stuff that, some other talent may not be able to make something out of it. And I think you showed that you can take something, basically like taking crap, making it into something, just taking stuff that, may not work for the talent. And you've shown that it can work. You can make it work.
Thank you. Thank you.
But just, kind of want to just touch on specifically the stunt double stuff. How did that come about? I know, it went for several months. I don't know. Was it supposed to go real long? Was it something that, just came out of the blue? Like, kind of want to, pick your brain.
Yeah. I was on Raw. They put me with The Miz, and I got bored, and I said, well, I'm just going to do something. And I started imitating him. And then I get to the back. Vince says, come here. Yes. What would you like? Or it was like, yes. How can I help you, boss? That stuff you did with what was that? Like, well, I'm his understudy, his stunt double. I have to study out there, right? And he goes, you have a green light to do whatever you would like. I will be the only one that will hold you back. Didn't speak to the man for about 9 months. Truth.
Yeah, it's true.
Did not speak to him for about 9 months. Miz and, like, again, we would have a game plan on some things, but this is not a lie, and this is live TV pay-per-views. 80% of our stuff was called out there. Like, he would do something, and I would just do it. I had Stu as my cameraman. I love him to death. Stu and I worked together very well because I had my little place to play, and, he went over the shots with me, and that's another thing. Where a lot of wrestlers get to know the people calling the match and get to know the camera operators. Put them on your Christmas card list, because cameras, that is how the world sees you, and the announcers tell the world what to think about you. That's a little bit of wisdom right there. But, again, just improv, but that was the cool part. In an age, especially now, when everything is overproduced, and I would argue that it was overproduced then in a lot of ways. I think Mizdow was just like a break, because I was allowed to just be in the moment, and that's also testament to WWE. They were very, out of all the things I could say, and there are some good and some not so good, I will always say the appreciation I have for the trust they had in me, to where when I had a promo, I I was bullet points. Like, I'll hit my time. If it's a minute, if it's 2 minutes, I'll get it done in that time. I'll sell what needs to be sold, but I don't want a guy that just graduated college handing me a paper and, telling me, oh, you need to do this. And yeah, like I didn't work too well like that, let's say. I try to be nice and polite, but then I do, sometimes smirky people just, but I'm getting better with it, right? We all have our own stuff. It's again, that was truly a blessing. And had I not had that freedom there, that was granted by the officials, I would not have had the career I've had and been able to kind of do the stuff I've been doing outside of wrestling. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, the acting stuff is amazing. By the way, Eric sent me a video today. It was like a short, and it was a guy going through a drive-through, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to pay for."
Oh God, yes. Out of all the things,
that was hilarious.
That's
though,
awesome.
By the way, I mean,
it won an Emmy. It won an Emmy.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Because someone sent me a picture, and I thought it was like, someone did photo editing. And like, no, this is real. And so it was me and Tim Robinson on there. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's interesting. Didn't send me an Emmy though, but that's fine. But out of all the things I've been in, that one is like the craziest thing where people remember that. And they, someone showed me a license plate, a snapshot of it, said 55 fries on it. So like a homage to that. So that was just funny. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. One more wrestling question I had. You were a part of a couple of WrestleManias. You're a part of an infamous non-match that didn't take place at WrestleMania 29.
Oh yes.
So twofold. What was it like to be a part of that? And then in terms of WrestleMania 29,
it sucked.
What was it like to be for 29? Yes. What was it like to have that happen? But then obviously 31, that's when you kind of had your break from Miz, right? And obviously 32 is like the most, I was like 120, whatever they said, 120.
That's when I knew I was done. At that moment, I knew I was done. I asked for my release right, like I think it was the SmackDown after that WrestleMania that Tuesday that I'd asked for my release because I just, like, again, no matter what, like I was told, don't show personality out there. So I'm like, okay. That's fine. So when I slid in between Shaq and Big Show, and I kind of gave him a little like, crowd came up, Shaq threw me out, they booed him. And then when I got to the back, like no one, like they don't make eye contact with you. And like there was another incident. I think it was like a Royal Rumble or something like that. I was teaming with, I think it was Darren Young, and it was a 4-way tag, and they were chanting my name throughout the whole match. And then like I would get to the back, and then no one, because they made up their mind they didn't want to go with me no matter how over I was. So I'm just like, okay, this is out of my control, and I'm not gonna like beg for scraps at the table. I don't do that. So that was that's what happened. And like I said, it's been good since then. And it was good then, right? It was just, again, how much are you willing to put up with? And for whatever reason, it just wasn't what it was. And like, I've kind of made my peace with it because, okay, I've never had the WWE title, but I've certainly got WWE champion reactions.
Yeah, you really have. You really have. And it's been amazing to see what you're doing. So you're going to be on 2 minutes with you. So just tell us what you're up to now. And we obviously know you're in the NWA. You're doing a tremendous job managing.
Thank you.
And yes, please check them out. On what was it? You said
Roku.
It's on Roku.
Yeah, Roku. Yeah, Roku Sports Channel.
Roku. There's so many damn shows.
There's so much out today. Yes, I know.
But on Roku. But yes, tell us about some of your other outside projects because I know you do some acting. You work with Santino at his academy. So
well, yeah, I'm just up here for a couple months. He is an amazing program up here, and he was like, hey, will you come up here and help out with training? Goes, yeah, fine. He goes, and I want you to teach a promo class. So we do class on Thursdays. I'm actually getting ready to teach it after this. It's become more of like an improv class to where people will actually find and develop a character. Because everyone in wrestling school, what are you going to do? I'm just going to get cool tights. They're going to be lime green with diamonds on them. Like, well, what the hell does that mean, right? So like here, no, we try to, like, as they're learning, find and develop a character, because that's a huge piece that they're not going to have to worry about once they leave. And the program's doing super, super good. Again, best school in Toronto, no doubt. And no, I'm happy to be here for a few months. And occasionally I will do stuff on the Gutfield show with Tyrus and everything like that, where we're kind of able to still work together, which is cool. Because again, Tyrus and Santino, those are like in WWE especially, like those are my two guys. So it's cool to be able to still like in like a weird way like work with both of them. So it's been fun.
That's awesome, man. We really appreciate your time today, Aron, man.
Yes.
And really great conversation. Maybe we'll have you back again sometime. But seriously, good luck with the NWA. Good luck with everything that you're doing. Thank you for your time. Give Santino our best. We had him on a few months ago. He was a great guest. And take care of yourself, my friend. Have a great holiday season.
Yes,
you guys do the same. Thank you. I had a lot of fun on here.
We appreciate you, Aron. Take care.
Good luck with everything. You too. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.
Awesome.
All right. Good conversation. I jumped around, which was good. Sometimes we go in sequence, sometimes we have an idea and we try to keep things along the timeline.
Yeah. I really like that he spoke from the heart. You can tell he's extremely passionate about NWA and what they're doing there. And I personally need to check it out a little more. I did watch a little bit, I watched Power from last week. So kind of got a little bit of education in there, but that was awesome. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, this show specifically has been big supporters of the NWA. We were fortunate enough last summer, not this summer that passed, the summer before, NWA ran their first show out of the 2300 arena in decades. And it was the NWA 76. We were one of the media outlets that were selected to help them promote the event. We had Brian Idol, who is their current television champion, he was, again, another really great guest to have on. He's another one, like Aron was talking about, where they kind of jump all over the place and they have multiple tests and they work behind the scenes, particularly with young talent. So they wear a lot of different hats.
Best way to learn sometimes.
Oh, yeah. And then obviously we had EC3 on too, shortly after the Crockett Cup. And he was our return when the show came back in May. He was our episode 1 of our return episode. So we've been big supporters of the NWA and what Billy Corgan's been doing. And it seems like everybody says the same thing about Billy. It's the passion that he has for the business, but then couple that with the creative freedom that he is a proponent and pushes them to push the boundaries and find who their character is. I did the Billy Corgan Q&A before the Crockett Cup, and he talked about, people asked about, if I'm an aspiring wrestler, there were a couple of young people there, what would I need to do for a tryout? And he said, well, you have to, you got to impress me. So, go out and work and send me stuff. And he said, I'll even give you my contact info. There was a young guy there. And he said, go out and work. I want to see it on the tape, not just, and then, let me see it. And you don't have to be the best I've ever seen, but if I can see the potential there and somebody who can be taught, I also know I have the right people here to teach you. So, Billy just loves wrestling, and that's what's so amazing. Like, this guy's a legitimate worldwide rock superstar.
Yeah.
Who has become this pivotal figure in the professional wrestling movement of the 2020s, So, and the cool thing, and what I think you would love about the NWA, Eric, again, is it is an old school presentation. Like, you watch NWA Power, it's like
the ring, the camera angles. That was what was really cool about like the studio wrestling. So cool. Yeah. Like you haven't seen that since the 80s, like WCW or not WCW, it's NWA Championship Wrestling, like World Championship Wrestling, like that kind of stuff. So it brings back the nostalgia, but it also brings in the new. And I think we can all agree that more wrestling is better for everybody. Everybody has jobs and people are making money. So, and people are getting opportunity.
It's better. And having an alternative option, because
That too.
you know, everybody knows this, right? I do like the AEW. I watch it. I watch certain talent. I want them to succeed, but I go through very extreme ebbs and flows where I'm really into it, and then I am completely out of it. But it's a different product. Maybe it's not necessarily like if I was someone who went, and we talk about this all the time, Eric. If I was somebody who the just in-ring sport of it was what's hooked me, I would probably be more of an AEW fan. But whether it succeeds or not, there has to be a creative aspect to it. And to me, that's where WWE comes in spades. It's so much better. Even when it's not great, there's still a level of storytelling that I think vastly exceeds what AEW does. And that's, for me, I'm not saying they're not good.
Yeah.
It's one is more storyline and entertainment driven, and that's okay. If I was just in I go to indie shows. I go to NWA shows. I go to Battleground Championship Wrestling shows. And I see great matches all the time. So I could see them. And it's what your preference is. But the NWA gives you something different. It gives you a nostalgic, yet a fresh feel. And it's so cool.
Got to get I've got Roku. So I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, check it out. So Eric, you weren't here on Thursday or Tuesday, rather. So we asked Aron about it. I want to circle back to the opening topic here, because since you were not able to be a part of it, I'd like to get your opinion on it before we hit our big announcement. By the way,
dun, dun, dun.
And it's also surrounding the John Cena Last Time Is Now final, the Saturday night's main event. But let's jump back and dive into this quickly here. And let's get your opinion on, is this the perfect finale? What is exciting you about this? Is there anybody in particular you expect to see and or would like to see?
I agree. I love it. I think this is a great finale. It adds so much intrigue into every match that's going to be coming up. It gives value to each match, and it adds even more speculation on who this final opponent is going to be. The match, and I mentioned this in our chat, the match that I'm hoping to see, because I think ultimately Gunther is probably going to be the guy that's going to be
that's what I said
in that final match, right?
That's what I said, yeah.
And you and I talked about this the other day offline here, but the match that I would love to see, and of course neither one have officially been announced, but I would love to see a finals to face Cena of Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov. It goes back to that NXT UK match from a few years ago.
It's still one of the best matches. You talk about UK strong style. That is one of the hardest hitting matches I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
that's what put Ilya on the map for me. I already knew who Walter was, Gunther, but I knew nothing about Ilya Dragunov. And then I watched that match. Somebody said to me, I really wasn't watching a lot of the UK stuff. Somebody said, I'm telling you, you need to go on and watch that match. I was hooked from that match.
Yeah, it was incredible. So that I do like the hint of we're gonna have people that may not work here. And I know I brought up on Anecdotes with Arch on the over the weekend talking about, I don't really think Copeland is a realistic option. Of course, I would love to see it. I just don't.
So the point was made on Tuesday, real quick, since you brought his name up. I would love to see him, but if he's in it, is the tournament told then? Because he has to win, right? And
right.
And there, like, what does that entail, right? Because I don't know if his contract is up yet with AEW, or it's technically still on but expiring. Like, is there some agreement that AEW gets some form of promotion in it? I mean, I don't want to dive too far down that rabbit hole unless we cross it. But in terms of him, if he's in it, he has to win this thing, right?
Yes, I think he does. But I think to your point, that might take the lure from that tournament.
That's the
Like,
name
all right,
I threw
well,
out
you
there,
know.
by the way. That Brian, what's up, brother? Our niche night
What's up, Brian?
compadre from Flyers Talk A2D.
Thanks for joining.
Says, any thoughts to potentially having Jericho versus Cena?
See,
Jericho have his own title.
that there is a great call out. However, I think it's kind of in that same with Copeland, where we don't know if when Jericho's contract is up. It could be up in time. I think the biggest rumor right now for Jericho is January. So maybe his contract's up at the end of the year.
I think he's a Rumble guy. If he could get into this, I don't think he would need to win this. Maybe win a round though. That would be super, super cool. I think he's more likely to be a Royal Rumble entrant. But man, wouldn't it be freaking awesome if Jericho ended up?
Yeah, definitely. I gotta tell you real quick the theory that I heard from somewhere where the tournament winds up with a winner, and then Brock Lesnar comes out and beats the crap out of him, and then Brock winds up taking the match. Like, why am I in this tournament? I'm the one who beat him at SummerSlam or at WrestlePalooza. Like, what?
I have heard that, and boy, do I hope that that's not the case.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. But I you know how I feel about the whole WrestlePalooza squash. It's kind of like, why did you do it now? Like, there was no point to it. But
well, I told you, I will agree with you if there is no follow up to it. I'm giving it literally until the very end. I
know.
Till the clock.
Like, is he going to be
zeros before I make a decision on it? But you're right. If that's the case, I don't understand it. It makes no sense. But
yeah, and I agree. I agree with Andy and Pete. I think someone mentioned Cardona. I mean, that makes sense. He stole his girlfriend.
Cardona.
Stole his girlfriend for crying out loud. Come on, needs a little payback. The wheelchair.
I feel like Cardona is almost a guarantee. I feel like Nemeth could be a really strong one. Joe Hendry was not even one I thought of, but that's a good one. I can see Mike Santana as TNA champion, given the opportunity to jump in here.
Another one that I saw a rumor was the son of Bull Buchanan. He's Brooks Jensen.
Yeah. Why? Oh, why?
Because I guess because of the rap, like, because he ruined his career with the rapper gimmick. I guess kind of digging into that.
Yeah, I mean, he was in. I haven't seen him in NXT forever.
I think he's in Evolve. I think he's.
Did he get demoted? Jeez.
I don't know, but I thought that was pretty cool to the backstory. But
it is funny.
It's fun.
I would almost rather him like do a run in during a Cena promo, and then just get clotheslined and knocked out of like thrown out of the ring. Just a random like. If you know, kind of a moment on screen.
Yeah. So now that this tournament is starting on Monday, my question is now, is Cena going to have another match before Saturday night's main event? It's kind of like...
Doesn't sound like Boston's happening.
I know we talked about wanting to see Dom, and I think a lot of people want to see Cena and Dom, but do we get that at MSG? Do we get that? I don't know if we get anything in Boston. Maybe we get something where there's an interaction of some sort. I mean, if
it could be a random match, I don't know, but I feel like Boston might be a setup to get Cena to Dom at Survivor Series, maybe.
Yeah, it's fun. It's funny they haven't really announced. They haven't announced anything for Survivor Series yet.
It's still like 4 weeks out, isn't it?
Yeah, but
it's 5 weeks out.
Quickly, now we're getting to that point where it's like you got to start. I guess they started building those teams on Monday with Logan Paul, but I find it curious. I'm curious to see what Cena does, and if he's not in that War Games match, I mean, it makes perfect sense that it could be Dom.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that. Maybe for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, I think it would be. I mean, really, you could technically have Cena take the Intercontinental title off of him, and then whoever he faces in the finals of the tournament, he could drop the title to them.
There you go.
Like, you really could do that if you really wanted to.
Definitely.
We got who we got in here. We
Hey,
got
Brad.
Brad jumping in. What's up, Brad? Hope you were able to join us. If anybody missed it earlier today or earlier this hour, we were joined by Aron Stevens, known to WWE fans as Damien Sandow. So
You're welcome.
I hope you guys were able to enjoy it. And if you were not, please go back on A2D and or Lazy Bookings YouTube pages, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever you call it. Go back and check out the beginning of the show. It was a really, really fun interview. Yeah, Brad, I think it's near a lock. It's about as close as you're gonna get.
I think it's just a matter of when. And Royal Rumble sounds logical to me.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Gunther still wins this tournament unless again an Adam Copeland joins it. But I'm more excited to see who the surprises are. And we talked about this, and I would like to get your insight on this before we get to our big announcement for this. What are your thoughts on the way they're announcing the participants? Because I mentioned it the other day. I felt like this. It's a nitpick because I like the tournament idea. I don't like we're going to put random names in giant balls and do the old school, put them in a tumbler and pull out names. I feel like I would rather them have said something along the lines of like have the 3 GMs come out and say this is the criteria we were given, and we're going to announce all of the talent. I want them all to come out one by one and explain why they are selected. Like, it doesn't have to be like a draft where they're on a mic, like on a podium, but like in the ring, just do a promo with all 3, Ava, and then say, stay tuned because the surprises are going to come. But just say, we were tasked to have a Cena legacy opponent, somebody that we think is deserving, and somebody that could be the next big thing. Like, however they want to say it. I would have rather them did something like that and announce them all at once, too. I don't like dragging this out show by show with balls, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. But I wanted to get your thoughts on the methodology that they are using to announce the participants of this tournament.
Yeah, I think one of the criticisms through John Cena's run with the limited dates is why haven't they used him in different ways? And we saw it on Saturday Night's Main Event where he wasn't announced for it, but he cut the studio promo and announced the tournament. Like, why weren't they doing this before? I think this would have been good for specifically this tournament. I would have really liked if Cena cut a promo, like a studio promo for each guy that was entering the tournament. Like he'd have maybe there was a little backstory or somebody who he thought was like an up and coming star, a dream opponent, somebody who he respects. Like I think that would have been pretty cool. If you're going to drag this out, let's have Cena involved in this tournament even more by cutting promos, kind of like the Saturday Night's Main Event one. I think that would have been really neat. You'd be like, this guy I've seen, he's been great, and I'd love to be in the ring with him. Let's see if he can get this opportunity. Here's Joe Hendry, and then like Joe Hendry comes out, something like that. I think they could have been a little more creative. I do, and again, I'm probably overthinking it and nitpicking it a little bit, but I think they could have utilized Cena a little bit more. And I think they could have done this well before Saturday Night's Main Event, where they could have, how long does it take to cut a studio promo? And if he's in an appearance, like, let's take an hour and put some vignettes in the can. Let's get this done. Like, I think they did a really good job with it. I think it worked really well. People were really hyped up about it. And another criticism, I think, and this is me personally, why wasn't this announced for Saturday Night's Main Event? Like, that's a missed opportunity. Like, I know you had 4 championship matches, but I think the highlight was the Cena tournament. Like, everything about it was talked about. Like, they weren't necessarily talking about everything else. They talked about Punk. They talked about Punk winning the title, but I think the Cena tournament superseded all of that.
I almost feel like they could have announced the tournament ahead of time, maybe a week beforehand, and then done a reveal of the competitors at this past Saturday night's main event and leading in. Now, again, it's a slight nitpick because at the end of the day, we're going to get what we're going to get. How do you feel about the competitors selected at this point?
Like the random with the Royal Rumble.
Well, the specific 4 competitors that we have at this point.
I like it because it's a mix of people that he's feuded with and has history with versus.
I was a little surprised with Nakamura.
Rising stars with who? Which one?
Nakamura.
But Nakamura is a name, and he's popular, and I don't think it's a match that Cena's had. So it's kind of like, I think it might fall into that dream match scenario. I know they haven't really booked Nakamura to be the main event scene in quite some time, but I still think there's some name there and name value. So I think that in itself, I think I'm okay with him in the tournament. But after we see the rest of the field, I may have a different outlook on it. But right now, like, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you get like Rusev and Sheamus or Givens. Rusev was a WrestleMania opponent.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most epic WrestleMania entrances of all time, by the way.
With the cannon.
The cannon, amazing.
The
Rue TV, our buddy Rue, he's going to be joining us at some
buddy?
point soon. Check out his YouTube page. He's got great videos on there. Says they're booking by the seat of their pants week to week. I really think WWE could benefit from a new head booker. Triple H seems burnt out. Follows up and says, I'd love to see Cena Nakamura, but I don't think that's happening. Brian says, I feel like there's too much to spoil in something that could be really fun for WWE fans. But he likes the mystery, and he was hoping that they were going to do it like this.
I would have liked them to do the open, like,
Brad wants it. Cena versus Lesnar.
Okay. All right. I only want it because it would make sense, but I would be very surprised if that's his final opponent. I think it's kind of foregone conclusion that it's going to be Gunther, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong once or twice in my life. But go about the booking stuff. I mean, I think there are times where we're frustrated with some of the booking. It's I can't imagine how much pressure Triple H is under. It's kind of like you have TKO, right? And TKO, I don't know if people saw that earnings call or heard the stories about the earnings call. I mean, WWE's making money for TKO. They're the only ones that are making money for them right now. So the pressure is on Triple H to deliver. I mean, it's tough right now, I'm sure, for him. If he didn't have hair before, he would have lost it during this, because I don't know how he does it. I don't know how any of these guys do it. It's got to be so much pressure. But I agree that there may be too many guys that have been there so long that you need a fresh face. You need a fresh person and hopefully that writing team is able to get their ideas out there. But we saw a glimpse of it on Unreal. But
yeah,
you don't know if what you're seeing on camera is exactly what's happening, of course. But it's very intriguing to where you see when we talk about it, where Raws and SmackDowns are kind of you watch it and you fast forward through some of it if you're behind, and you didn't really miss a whole lot. So I agree, and I think I'm going to be very curious to see how their booking is for the road to WrestleMania, especially now with Seth Rollins out.
Yeah,
now we have 2 babyface champions, but I don't want to get into that too much. But
no, we'll dive into all that stuff later on. Yeah, Bruce says Lesnar needs to be the final opponent so he can get his heat back. Unless it's Gunther and he puts him over, I'm cool with that. I think if it's Gunther, he's going to put Gunther over. I really do. I think you think the opposite, though, right?
I think Gunther's going to win.
Okay, all right.
I think because actually I can see it the other. I'm kind of flip-flopping here, but remember Cena's first match against Kurt Angle. Who won that match?
It was different. Kurt Angle wasn't retiring.
But
it's
I think it might be a way for him to give back is to get somebody else over.
I mean, listen, he could win. Like we've talked about this. I don't think in every case you have to go out on your back. I think it's an old adage that doesn't really necessarily always apply, right? And part of that is because John Cena leading into this farewell tour put everybody over. I know everyone talks about Super Cena in that run, but that last, and I know there was points where he had a full year where he didn't come back, but you could make the argument that for 4 straight years, almost every time he came back, he put everybody over.
Yeah, he went for a while where he wasn't winning matches.
He went for like 2 or 3 years without winning a match. A singles match anyway.
Yeah.
So I think at this point he's done enough. And I do think he's a different animal. He's a different talent. Right. And so I think that if they chose to put him over, it is well deserved. I don't think it needs to be that way. I do think it would help Gunther to go over on Cena in this matchup. So we'll see how this goes. We got about 3.5 minutes left, and I want to get this in. So we kind of started teasing it the other day. And this is shout out to our buddy Rue, who we said we have a friend who has a friend who helped to facilitate this for us. But we are very excited to announce. So we said that we wanted to do something special surrounding John Cena's farewell tour and that Saturday night's main event. And we were able to do it. And I can tell you guys, we have 2 shows on December 9th and December 16th here on A2D Radio for Lazy Booking Podcast that you are not going to want to miss. Myself and Eric are going to have a very special guest co-host. This isn't going to be a sit-down interview. He is going to be in this with us. We're going to be talking about the John Cena farewell tour, the booking of all of this. We're going to be talking about the tournament, and at that point, how we've gotten to the finals. And then he's going to come back the following week to be a guest co-host as well. And we're going to talk about, the finish, how Saturday night's main event, I guess overall as an event went, and kind of maybe what's next for WWE post John Cena era. Maybe a couple of other things. What's John Cena's final legacy? And I'm saying I because I'm ready to jump out of my seat. I'm so excited. We could not be more excited to have this man on as our guest. He's controversial. He's a massive name in the history of professional wrestling. And he's going to be on Lazy Booking Podcast for 2 weeks to help us cover the John Cena farewell final match. That's it. Woo! Right there.
Let's go.
We are welcoming special guest hosts. Obviously, he has his own podcast, The Brand. Vince Russo, guys. This is going to be off the charts. Wild. A lot of you listen to A2D Radio, right? And if you're a sports fan who happens to be coming across this show, if you're somebody who's watched our shows on this platform, I always say Tom Ranone's kind of like he's like a Vince Russo version. You know what I mean? Vinny Rowe, I love it. Hey, that's our guy right there. He helped us to facilitate that. Brian Daly, very excited. Yeah, it's a huge guest.
Yes,
it's gonna be must see. It's gonna be honest conversation.
Yeah, and he's gonna tell it like it is, baby.
He's gonna tell it as he sees it like it is. And what's great is you can debate him. He's not gonna get mad at you. He's gonna just come at you, bro. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to be called bro. I'm gonna tell you, I can't
seriously.
Wait. But he is such love or hate him. good, bad, and different, he's been such a pivotal part of the professional wrestling business and continues to be through his podcast that we are so excited and honored that he would take the time to come on with us for 2 weeks to cover the John Cena farewell tour. So
and I'm sure he's going to want to talk about his new venture with Insane Clown Posse's wrestling company.
Yeah. The Juggalo Championship
Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Yeah, and they've been around for a long time.
Which Cardona, by the way, Cardona just won their world title.
Yeah.
So
And he's booking the shows right now, and I know he's going to be eager to talk about that as well. You can tell, watching some of his shows, he's grinning ear to ear. He loves it.
Yeah, Greg John,
he's excited to be back in it.
Yeah, it's just gonna be an awesome show. So again, I'm just gonna put that banner up one more time just to give people that reminder. We are happy on these 2 dates. We're going to be welcoming December 9th and December 16th special guest co-host on the Lazy Booking Podcast, Vince Russo. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, I mean, he's been very vocal about this whole Cena run to begin with, which is part of why we kind of felt like this is a good opportunity to bring him in, and because we're not going to get the we're not getting the cream puff like little he's not going to sugarcoat it. There you go. He's not sugarcoating it. He's not going to he's not going to and listen, I think John Cena should get his flowers. But I like that, in terms of WWE and their booking of this, it's not going to be we're just happy to be here and we're just privileged to see John Cena, period. I love that he's going to come on and he's going to come in fire. And if you've watched any of his promos or any of his podcasts when he's talked about this. So make sure you guys note it down. Tuesday nights, December 9th and December 16th, both Tuesday nights. Surrounding Saturday night's main event on December 13th, John Cena's final match. Lazy Booking Podcast is welcoming Vince Russo to the show as a guest co-host of the panel.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell them all. Tell all your wrestling buddies.
Tell your bro.
Do not miss it. Tell your bro. Yeah, there you go. Do not miss these shows because they are going to be. I can't tell you how excited. I know Chrome's super excited. I am as well. This is a guy that our childhood, teenage years. He's part of the Attitude Era, and like he's been there on both sides of the Monday Night War, and he's worked all over the place, and he's got a lot to talk about, and we can't wait to
brush up on your Vince Russo history. You can go back and you can watch. He's been a big part of, which I want to ask him about, being a part of Dark Side of the Ring so much as he has. It covered his own stories. He's been a part of telling other stories. Austin, Rock, Mankind, that whole era, he had his fingertips all over that era. So even if you're not a current fan, you know somebody that was such a big fan of the Attitude Era, maybe they don't watch as much now or they don't watch at all. Just let them know, though. One of the architects, Vince Russo, is going to be joining us. So anyway, I don't want to pump it up. We'll be talking about it over the next couple weeks. Not sure if we're doing a show on Tuesday night because obviously you're coming back from Green Bay.
Go Birds, baby.
So I might take the week down with the holidays coming up and this show coming up. Don, what's up? If you haven't checked it out, Don, go back. You missed Aaron earlier.
And you're lucky. Hopefully you got our announcement, bro.
Yeah, rewind the episode. You can rewind it back 4 minutes and see the big announcement of our special guest on December. Not guest, our guest co-host, December 9th and 16th. What was I saying? I don't even remember now.
Oh, about next week.
Yeah. Not sure if we're going to do a show. I guess it'll depend if there's anything big enough to where I will decide to do a show. Without you being on this week and the holidays coming up, where there's going to be a lot of wrestling to talk about. I might take the week down. So stay tuned. Check out Lazy Booking's page on Facebook. If you go on our Facebook page,
Look
Lazy
out for
Booking Podcast-
anecdotes with Arch.
Yeah,
Look out
Lazy
for
Book-
those anecdotes.
Lazy Booking Podcast does have a show page as well as the A2D Radio main page. If you check it out, we typically do our programming announcements on there on if we are going to do a show or not, or time changes or upcoming guests. So we would love it if you guys jumped in there, jumped on, and give us a follow there. While you're at it, get on the Insta, the IG, follow A2D Radio and Lazy Booking Podcast on Instagram.
Do it.
And don't forget about our sponsor, Dr. Paul Vidal at Specialized Physical Therapy. Find him at that site, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No appointment necessary. Where you can find a physical location, Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So we're going to thank our guest again, Aron Stevens, Damien Sandow, for a fantastic conversation.
Yeah, it was great.
Regarding the NWA, regarding his time in WWE. And very honest and open conversation. We appreciate his time today for joining us. We appreciate all the awesome comments. There we go. There you go, Don.
Yes.
There it is, Don. Thank you, Brian. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Brian.
you.
Appreciate
For
it,
any, everybody that commented in, gave us a share, gave us a like. If you haven't yet, please throw a like on the video, throw a heart on the video, share it out. Give us a follow if you're not. And come back and see us. Typically Tuesday nights. Usually starts sometime around 6 and 7:30 or 7 o'clock. Sometime around 6 or 7 o'clock. But yeah, for myself, for Eric, for Aaron, and for everybody here at A2D Radio, it was fun to get to give you a double dose this week. May not see you next week. Maybe I will. Either way, you know, if you're an NFL fan, especially with what happened today.
Yeah. Tell
Terrible.
Somebody you love them.
Yeah, tell somebody you love. Let everybody in your life who means something to you know how much they mean to you. There it is. Look at Eric making hearts fly. I didn't even see that coming.
That's my new gimmick. Yeah, the heart gimmick. Look at that. Woo!
Oh my god! What am I doing? Why am I doing this?
You don't have the arch magic. I guess
I don't have the arch magic. We're getting the hell out of here. And by the way, tune in Monday night. Go Birds. Eric, stay warm out there in Green Bay. We love you guys. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.